the Electoral Commission has extended the time for parties to submit their payments and nominations for the local government elections to 9 o'clock tonight. More than 97 parties, 353 candidates are known to be contesting the polls. The Chief Electoral Officer, Mamabolo, joins us now. Mr. Mamabolo, good evening to you. Thank you very much indeed. How many more parties have now submitted? Are you still expecting a big rush tonight?
Yes, indeed. We do expect some significant rush in the last few hours left. As at the last count, the number of candidates that had been captured at that point, about midday, was 37,000, and the number of parties had increased to 110. Our expectation is that by the time we close, we probably would be at between 60, 70 odd thousand.
How are you expecting the submissions? Do people have to go physically and give you old-fashioned paper, or are you doing this electronically as well? And, you know, along with that, there's bound to be a conversation around how you avoid a court case if you're using email.
No, we're using two modalities. Firstly is the old-fashioned paper, which paper nominations are submitted at the local offices of the IEC. In other words, if it's in Steve Tshwete, then at the local office of the IEC in Steve Tshwete. And then since 2016, we've instituted a candidate nomination portal, which parties have been using, and close to 95% of the figures that I gave earlier has been used. Rather, that number has arisen from the use of the online web-based system.
Are you anticipating any problems? I mean, we've seen in the past one party, at least one party, actually missed this deadline. I think it was the last local election or the election before that. That meant they couldn't actually contest in the elections in the municipalities they wanted to contest in. This is quite difficult for political parties to do on time. It often leads to internal tensions within them. Are you expecting a little bit of a rush, literally at 9 o'clock, and then maybe a few phone calls immediately afterwards asking if people can still submit?
Well, in the nature of things, it's a possibility, and litigation too. It's a possibility. We've prepared ourselves for any eventuality. The attitude of the Commission is that let's give everybody as much opportunity as we can to allow people to participate. This is not meant to be a punitive measure. It is just a necessity to ensure that we can get ready for an election that has been proclaimed for the 27th of October. Where litigation to arise, obviously would have to evaluate the matter on its merit, and we may either abide or oppose applications of those that may arise.
So, Mamabolo, I really appreciate the time. Thank you. CEO of the Electoral Commission and Chief Electoral Officer.